Hey, so I forgot to review a couple of the latest movies I've seen. So oopsie daisy that these are not instantly reviews. But the good news is it's gonna give me a chance to rewatch both movies and gather my thoughts a little bit more. So I'm gonna actually wait an extra day to review First Cow because even though I've already seen it, I'm going to be rewatching it tomorrow. So may as well wait a little bit longer. Since I rewatched Bad Education for the second time today. And now I'm gonna give you my thoughts on that. The movie is still great after a second time. Um, I already knew the true story going in though, so it was kind of disappointing to be going into like a true story movie stylized as a mystery film when you already have solved the mystery because you know what it is going in because you're up on current events, so it kind of defeats the purpose of the mystery. But for those who don't know, it's like a very fun way to put the events, and I think the way that they chose to approach the movie, while not the way I would do it or not the way I would enjoy doing it or enjoy watching it, it was probably the best approach for doing the material because it gives you the chance of humanizing some pretty bad people while also not letting the same people get away with what they did and showing like how truly manipulative all of them can be and like truly hammering home like why these people are bad as well. So I like that shows both sides of all these characters. I wish that there was more development with the reporter. It feels like the character that's always characterized as like the good character, like for example, the cop in like a lot of different crime shows, like the good cop that solves it, that gets to live because they're good. They usually don't have much complexity to their character. They're just like, oh, I'm good, so that's my character. I don't have any complexities or anything like that. And that's just kind of a boring character, honestly. I wish that there was a little bit more depth, like you got to know her more, her family, like anything, any scrap of detail about her would have been much appreciated into making her more likable for me. I don't know, maybe I'm a cynic, but that kind of made me appreciate the characterization of Hugh Jackman's portrayal of Frank Tassone more, even though he's a way worse person. Because, like, I don't know, it's not like I liked him more as a person. It was more so that I ended up pitying him at the end more than anything. Like I felt a little bit sorry with him, even though he totally got what he deserved in the end. Uh, but yeah, I really like the presentation of the film. The sound design is great. Uh, the performances are all stellar across the board. It's really funny, it as well as dramatic, and it's also really exciting. It's paced very well. Uh, yeah, there's just so many great things I could say about the movie. I do like on a rewatch. I like the structure. It was just since I was hoping that there was more of the story that I didn't know on a first watch. Like I was hoping from the way the trailer was presented, I thought that there were violent aspects to the movie that I didn't know about. And I thought that the story was way more in depth and detailed and complex, like that there's it was gonna be way more like I don't know, like most true stories like that get documentaries, like they're so long because there's so many like twists and turns and real life is so crazy. I thought it was gonna be like one of those, but no, it's really just kind of cut and dried. It's not like Three Identical Strangers or McMillions or any of these documentaries where it's like, oh my gosh, there's just turns left and right and it's so dense. No, it's just pretty simple once you get like the one or two twists in the story. that's about as deep as it goes. So it is a little disappointing that the real story isn't as deep. But that's not a fault of the movie, because if the movie tried to go deeper, then it would just be making stuff up, because real life didn't go deeper, so it's not really the movie's fault. Yeah, I just really like the movie. I'd say that I know a lot of people said that it was Hugh Jackman's best performance and that it was the best movie of the year. I'd certainly say it's one of the better movies of the year. Maybe even one of the best movies of the year, but it's not the best movie of the year for sure. There's so many other movies I saw this year that I've been giving nines and 9.5s. I just can't quite put it up there yet. I certainly loved it though. Absolutely recommend it. Uh, it's a very fun crime dramedy. Uh, yeah, it's highly recommendable. So yeah, go out and see Bad Education, the 2021 from HBO Films, because it's really good. I know on Vudu it's $5 if you want to buy it. Otherwise, you can get an HBO subscription and have it for free, or you could rent it from Netflix as a disc. That's how I watched it. You could buy the Blu-ray, which is out now, or the DVD. Uh, yeah, or you could just rent it. There's multiple different ways to get a hold of it now, and I'm glad that released so that I could finally do that. So yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, First Cow with that movie. Uh, I knew that it was slow going in, so I loved it. I thought that the ending was very chillingly, like that final frame, like really got me, and it took me a minute to process, but I finally understood what it meant, and the impact it had on me once I understood what it meant was very, very affecting, and it was just like the perfect way to end that movie. And like the movie kind of starts off as like a more chill, like, oh, the joys of living in a simpler time, but then as you start to see like all the worst parts of living in the old west, like slavery and like racism and all these things, and things start to get much more tense in the third act, and then it just kind of has this uneasy ambiguity in the third act. That one I also really like. That one I gave an 8. Bad Education I give an 8.75 out of 10.